In the last class, we have discussed the fundamentals of PIC microcontrollers, and then we have discussed about the architecture of PIC microcontrollers that was specific to PIC 16C6X family. So today we will discuss about the memory organization. This memory of a PIC microcontroller, if you see that mid-range PIC microcontroller, for example, PIC 16C, 6X or 7X. So these devices has three memory blocks: program memory, data memory, and stack. We have studied already about this program memory, data memory, and stack memory. So same thing is given in PIC microcontroller also. So try to recollect whatever you have studied in 8085 microprocessor and 8051 microcontroller. Same things, same concepts only will be coming here. So talking about program memory, we know what is program memory. That memory is specifically used to store the instructions. The program, whatever you're writing, will be stored in the program memory only. And the size of the program memory, if you see, we can have different size of program memory. Like the devices are coming with different sizes of program memories. For example, 2K memory device will be there, and 4K. There are some devices with 4K program memory also. The calculation, you know, right, for the number of address bus calculation. Suppose you have 1 KB of memory, it can be a data memory or program memory. We know how to calculate the address bus, address size of the address bus. For example, we need 10 address lines. The formula which we used is 2 power n, where that n represents number of address lines needs. So same thing is given here, microcontrollers, same formula is used here. For a 2 KB of 2 KB memory, 2 kilo locations memory, we need to have 2 power 11 addresses. For example, this is the data, this is the calculation they have given here. So for 2 kilo addresses, we need to have 11 address lines. Same way for the program memory, you have something called program counter. Program counter, we know the function of the program counter. So program counter generates the addresses, right? That we know. Suppose you have 2 KB of memory, we need 11 address lines, I told. So in that case, the program counter will also have the 11 bits. It is having the size of 11 bits. Program counter will be 11 bits of size. For 4 KB of memory, it can be a program memory or address means data memory. We need to have 12 bits in program counter. Similarly, we can calculate for other number of bits or number of other sizes of memories. So that is given here. So see, this is the memory available. For example, consider this as the program memory we have. It is showing the size as 2 kilo. See here, 2K addresses. It's a 2K memory. 2 kilo locations it has. And see, to address this 2 kilo locations, we need to have this 13 bits program memory. You can see here this program counter. This is the not program memory, program counter. We need to have 13-bit program counter, so that 13 bits will address all the locations here. So there are two locations in a program memory which are more special compared to other addresses. That is, you can see from the diagram, you can easily understand from here. See, one is this go to main line. So this is having the address of 00H, 000H. So this is one location which is given most important. And one more address line is address location is this one. Go to, it is not inverse, it is in service. It is in service. So go to main line, this location 000 is one location and the other location is 0004. So these two locations are most important. So after this, we have space in the program memory. After 004, we have 005. From 005, we can allocate this space for table. So after this tables, the main program comes here, main line of the program, and then subroutines or subprograms will be stored here. This is how the program memory is designed. So program memory is like this, and there are some spaces provided for specific purposes. What these the tables can be stored only in this location. The main program, you would have seen the starting address of the program in microcontroller lab. When we have done the programs, we have seen it starts with some address. So that is the address, starting address, and from there the main program can be stored. So this is the location where we can store the program. So see here for the tables, the address locations you can see from 005H to 0FF. So that is the location allocated for the table. You can see this is the space for the table provided, and see it starts from 0005, 005, and it ends with 0FF. So as shown here. And coming to the data memory consists of two types of files. Means the data memory stores the register files. It's also called as register files. And see here, this data memory has two types of register files. One is called general purpose register file, and another one is special purpose register file. So there are two types of register files available, and this special purpose register file is similar to the special function registers we have seen in 8051, like pcon, scon, tcon, those things, tmod, all these special function registers. So the special function register file consists of IO ports and control registers. This has the address location starting from 00H to FF. So it requires only 8-bit address. You can see here it is having only 8-bit address 00 to FF. So it requires only 8 bits of addresses to address those locations. These things you have seen, the register bank select bits and status register we have seen in the previous class. So pick reset actions. So for any microcontroller we have some facility called reset, which will reset the program, reset the controller. It means that it will put the microcontroller, a particular device into a known state or initialized state. So that is nothing but the reset. Normally when a PIC microcontroller is reset, the execution starts from address 00. So this is true for most of the microcontrollers and microprocessors. It starts with the address 00. If it is a 16-bit address 0000 of a program memory, it will directly go to first address of the program memory. After reset, the microcontroller starts executing from 0000 or 00. Means the first location. The reset action initializes various special function registers inside the microcontroller. And see, there are 4 types of resets available in a PIC microcontroller. You see here, first one is power on reset. This power on reset you know already. Power on reset is what? When the power goes off and whenever you are supplying power to the microcontroller, this power on reset will come into picture, and it ensures a smooth starting and operation of the microcontroller. The second one is master clear reset. So this master clear reset is also the second, means the other type of reset available. And next one is watchdog timer reset and brownout reset. So we have seen this watchdog timer reset and brownout reset already in the previous classes. And see, this brownout reset is not available in all the PIC microcontrollers. See, this feature is not available in these PIC microcontrollers. 16C61, 16C62, 64, 65 series. Only 74 series have this feature. So this is most important. So these are the 4 reset actions available in PIC microcontroller. So same thing is explained here. So we have seen all these things already. That's why I'm skipping the slides. So we have seen what is power on reset. Normal means master clear. Master clear. See here, this master clear already I told you. This master clear is nothing but it is an external pin available in microcontroller. When that pin is enabled, the microcontroller will be put in reset mode. So that is how the master clear is executed. This is external pin actually. Yes. PIC oscillator connections. There are 4 common oscillator modes available in PIC microcontrollers. And you can see here this HS, XT, LP, and RC. So these are the oscillator modes available. This HS is nothing but high speed mode, XT is nothing but crystal mode, LP is low power mode, and RC is internal RC mode. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All these four are means all these are used to provide the clock signals to the microcontroller. See, this high speed mode uses the crystal oscillator. So this XT mode is means this high speed mode using crystal oscillator. This XT mode is using some resonators also. Okay, high speed mode will take more power, and this XT mode will take less power compared to the high speed mode. And this LP, as the name implies, it is taking low power only. And this RC mode is used for even very low power. This will take very less power for this operation. And this is not reliable. This RC is not very accurate. So this cannot be, this RC mode cannot be used for time sensitive applications. So these are the details about this HS, XT, LP, and RC mode of oscillators. And we'll see this one by one. Same thing is given here, but the specifications you can see here. HS mode stands for high speed mode, and it will be used with crystals or resonators. It is used with 3 to 4 megahertz of frequencies, clock signals. Right? This HS mode provides highest drive level. Coming to the next mode, XT mode or crystal mode, it will produce a medium level drive. Means this all this low level, medium level, high level means this power consumption they are taking. They are telling. HS high speed mode and XT mode takes moderate power, and you can see here since its drive level is lower than that of the HS mode. As a thumb rule, if the clock frequency is more, it will take much power. So that is what is told here. So LP mode stands for low power mode, and you see the clock frequencies it can provide. It can provide a clock frequencies below 200 kilohertz, and usually it is used for 32.768 kilohertz operation. And LP mode is ideal for time sensitive applications. And you see here the application of LP mode. LP mode is used in wristwatches. You can see here this LP mode is this low power this oscillator mode is used in wristwatches. And the last one is RC mode. RC mode stands for external RC. Using the external resistor and capacitor, like using the resistor and capacitor, external circuit will be developed. That will, like you have studied about RC oscillators, RC phase shift oscillators, something like that here. So that will generate the pulses, so generate the oscillations that will be converted internally into a pulses, clock pulses that will be fed to the microcontroller. So that is how this is operated. Apart from these are four modes, such as HT, XT, crystal, LP, and RC mode. We have some other modes available, and you can see here. See internal RC and external RC. There are two RCs again, internal RC and external RC modes. You see what it is later on. And see here external resistor. See this external ER mode. There is one more mode which is called as ER mode, where no capacitor is used, only resistor, using only resistor that oscillations are generated. So that is given here. See this is similar to RC mode only, except that it won't use capacitor, it uses only the resistors. So these are the applications of PIC microcontrollers. You can see the limitations, and these are the limitations listed. And with this we'll complete today.